everyone, Sophia here. Welcome back to my Etsy shop, Frenchy and Tubby, and Happy New Year. I am so excited to be back and so looking forward to this year because I have big news for some of you, but 114 of you already know about this because I've made the announcement and you decided to go along with it. I have created an Instagram account just for my Etsy shop. So if you want to follow me, please do so. I would love to have you there. It's basically Frenchy and Tubby on Instagram. I'll put the link down below and I'm writing it right here with some shots. I've started posting already and the goal really is twofold. One, educate about my shop and items, history of things, you know, I like stuff, right? History of glass, of porcelain, specific makers. And I also want to bring in all of my thrifting content to that Instagram account. So if you like that kind of stuff, please follow me on Instagram, Frenchy and Tubby, all in lowercases. I'd love to have you there. The advantage of it is that you also get to see a preview of what's coming up in the following weeks or the following week, including the post ahead of my going live on Fridays. So everything you're going to see today are going to be live in the shop Friday, January 10th at 5 p.m. Eastern. Let me start with an absolute treasure that's in the thumbnail, something that I can't wait to introduce to you because it's absolutely fabulous and it's antique. I'm talking US glass, kind of carnival glass, but this is US glass and it is from 1900 to 1905. What is it? It's not just a picture. I'm telling you right now, I have the whole set. Okay, so a little bit of history while I showcase it, because this is a lemonade set and it's not just the picture. I also have six matching tumblers. I'm going to give you close-ups, don't worry. So US glass was actually created in the Victorian era. There was a lot of glass makers and something started out of the middle class rising, and it's called pressed glass. Early American pressed glass. There was a big demand. People started asking for pressed glass as opposed to cut glass, which was one, more expensive, took longer to make, and was not readily available to everyday folks. So pressed glass comes into the market. This is early American pressed glass, which everybody refers to as EAPG. Early American pressed glass. The pattern is called Newport, but people refer to it as bullseye and daisies. You can see why. Bullseye and a little daisy. And you see the gold, right? This is all gold all around. This was made between 1900 and 1905, that particular pattern with the gold. They made it in different colors at a later time. You're going to see it just like this, but with the bullseye in ruby, or the bullseye in amethyst color, or the bullseye in emerald color. I don't know if they did a cobalt, but I know they had those other three colors. It's pressed glass. It's not cut, but it's antique and it's gold. It is in amazing condition considering that this is about 120 years old. All right, so I have the picture. Okay, you can see that. The picture has a little flea bite right here on the back. We don't care. Come on, it's 120 years old. We're gonna give it a break. A little bit of fading on the gold, not too much. But it comes with the matching glasses. So US Glass kind of created a conglomerate of 18 other glass companies in 1891. I guess they saw a market and they had companies in every state, almost every state. They had company in Massachusetts, companies in Virginia, companies in Ohio, companies in New York, companies in, you name the state, right? They had 18 different brands of glass under one big brand called US Glass. Well, by the time the 1940s hit, They realized it was a little hard to manage 18 companies at the same time. So they said, we're done. And they were basically absorbed by one of the company that was doing the best out of all 18, and that was Tiffin. You probably heard of Tiffin glass, right? So this is not Tiffin, this is US glass again. It is amazing. Can I just say that? So you can't really see it on a white background. It is spectacular against a dark background in a curio cabinet, just with just the right lighting. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So again, it's the big lemonade pitcher with 6 tumblers. It's an antique. It's an antique. A little bit of fading on the gold. They've been used. I mean, come on. You know, we can't expect them to be like brand new. But I have 6 tumblers, and it's just stunning. What a statement piece. This is for all season. I'm sure it would look spectacular around Christmas time. But, you know, put it on display. Don't hide something like this. Look at it. Isn't it amazing? It's absolutely beautiful. I can't believe it's 120 years old. Just wow. Okay, just wow. So that's my first item. Please go on the website on Etsy or go on my brand new Instagram shop and look at pictures of it on a dark background. It is spectacular. Love it. Okay, when I come back, more glass. And by the way, the items that you're seeing today actually were picked by me and Mom as we went thrifting. And she likes it. She likes thrifting, in particular thrifting and sourcing for items for the shop. She's got a good eye, Mom, okay? So here we go. Here's my next one. Oh, this is fabulous too. Look at this thing. So some of you are like, oh, I know what this is Fenton. It's not Fenton. Not a Fenton. And actually, I did not know either. I assumed it was a Fenton. So I did a little bit of research, and I found out quite a lot of history about these pieces. Here's a clue. In the back, there's a sticker that says Charlton. Now, I know that a lot of Westmoreland has Charlton design on it, and a lot of Fenton has a Charlton design on it. Well, this is the story behind this piece, because this is not a Fenton. This is actually a Cambridge glass centerpiece, footed centerpiece in a peach color. It's not pink, it's peach. You see the color? Not even almond. It's more like a peach color. But it's actually not a Cambridge glass either. The shell of it, the glass, is Cambridge, but the decoration on it is from a totally different company called Abels and Wassenberg Company out of New York. So here's the story. During World War II, there was a big demand for glass, and import of glass from Europe, from Japan, went down, took a dive. We understand why. It was the war. So American companies had to step up to the demand for glass here on the American market. So Abels and Wassenberg in New York decided to purchase blanks. This piece with no design on it. And they bought thousands of Cambridge glass, Fenton glass, Westmoreland, Viking glass, all of those big glass makers in the United States at the time. In the 1940s, they bought thousands of blanks, just plain colors, white, peach, like this one, pink, some blue ones, but mostly the light colors. And what they did was hand paint all of those pieces with patterns. This one is known as the Charlton pattern. It's roses. Let me make sure that you have a good close-up on it with what appears to be forget-me-nots. And it's milk glass in a light peach almond cream color. And it's all hand painted. Can you see the design on it? Not only that, so this one is from 1943, by the way. It is in amazing condition considering that it's from the 40s. Look at this thing. And I love that it's see-through. It's beautiful milk glass. Now, when you look at the sticker at the bottom right here, it's going to say Charlton for the pattern, and it also says AWCO, Abels Wassenberg Company. That's how you know that this is one piece that they purchased as a blank and that they hand decorated and sold under their label. 1943, it's Cambridge glass, decorated by Abels Wassenberg. It's a footed centerpiece. It has gold accent. I don't know if my camera is going to show the gold, but basically the center design right here and some of the leaves are gold. All hand painted, beautiful pattern, beautiful condition. It's a footed centerpiece bowl, so you put it in the middle of your dining room table. Personally, I wouldn't put anything in it. This is, to me, a display piece because it's too pretty and you really don't want to damage the painting. It's lasted this long. Let's make sure it lasts another 80 something years. Okay, gorgeous. What do you think of this? 1943 Charlton pattern. Absolutely love this. So pretty. And I'm telling you, could have sworn I was a Fenton, but no, AWCO. Classic mill glass Fenton. This is hobnail, ruffled compote. You're going to see a lot of them on the internet. This one is one of the bigger one. This one is a 7-inch. You're going to see a lot of 5-inch, 6 inches. This is one of the tallest one. So a compote is basically for fruits, and you can put fruit salads, whatever you want in it. But you can use it for different things. That was the purpose of it at the time. It's in superb condition, and it still has the Fenton sticker. This is from the 1950s. It's perfect. It's beautiful milk glass, and it's timeless. See, something like this you can put in modern decor if you like those monochrome or two colors, gray and white style, or if you like something that's a little bit colder in design. Very nice in a modern decor. And you can also use it with something more traditional like my style. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There's not a flaw. There's no scratches to it. It's, someone may even wonder, has this thing ever served its intended purpose? It may just have been used as a decorative piece, because I'm telling you, there is not a scratch, nothing. The label's still there. There's no nicks, nothing. It's like brand new, like coming out of the Fenton factory. It's so pretty. I love it. Love, love, love it. And you know, I collect milk glass, but only a few patterns. I do have a few hobnails, but the one I like the most is the Lotus by Westmoreland. But this one is a classic. If you want to start collecting milk glass, start with this. This is about as classic as it gets. A compote, ruffled, hobnail, milk glass by Fenton. It's the epitome of milk glass. It's beautiful. It's got a nice ring to it too. You know, there's lead in it. Don't tell anyone. Look at this. It's so pretty. Next item, I'm still talking about glass, and this is from the 80s. I've had a few pieces in the shop. Each one was gone really fast. It's a tiny little thing. What is this? You recognize it. I know you do because I've sold them before. Not this particular shape, but you recognize the color, I'm sure. Pilgrim glass. No longer in existence. I think they closed in the 90s, something like that. Late 90s, early 2000, but I'm pretty sure it's the 90s. It's the #1 maker of cranberry glass in the world. Basically, that's their specialty. And they did so many different pieces. In the past, I've sold little creamers, And they did those creamers in so many different patterns. Swirl, no swirl, clear handle, no clear handle, twisted handle, different variation of the same picture in different sizes. They did the same thing with bud vases. And this one's got a tiny swirl, optic swirl they call it, right? Because it gives you like a optical illusion when you look at it. It's hand blown glass. It's cranberry glass. Let me see if I can show you. I don't want to blind you. Ooh, look at that color. Gorgeous. It's a simple shape. I don't want to blind myself either. Ugh, stay in place. Okay. It's a simple shape. It's a bud vase with a ruffle, kind of tapered mouth, very long neck. So this is perfect for a tall, sturdy stem, a rose, a hydrangea, not something that flops over. But look at this thing, it's so pretty. It's got a little bit of scratches here, probably from an eager owner who was washing it, but it's barely noticeable, and I think it's just the prettiest thing. If you put it on a shelf, it adds a touch of color, you know, and cranberry is just beautiful. This one is almost like a wine color. Isn't it pretty? Okay, so that's Cranberry Glass by Pilgrim, American company that unfortunately went under and was not purchased or absorbed by anybody else. So no more Pilgrim glass, but you can have one of their pieces. And I know they're collectible because they fly off the shelf every time I have one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. What else do I have? Okay, so here's a story for you. I was going to put a piece that was part of the 7 for sale, and it's this thing right here. It's a Steuben. Okay, I have the same. It's a signed Steuben. I just want to let you know that these online right now anywhere between $250 and $379. Because it had some scratches, I reduced it and I was going to sell it for only $70. Okay, and then as I'm looking at it, I realized that there's something I didn't see. A huge chunk right here. So guess what? It's not for sale. I only have 6 items for this week. This is one of the problems. Sometimes you wash things and you don't see the flows right away. But I saw it and I'm not going to put it up for sale. Too bad. Okay, so moving on to the next one then. The next one is quite unusual and I didn't even know existed. Look at this. This is a ceramic, hand-painted ceramic tray. It was made in Italy in the 1970s for Lord and Taylor. And if you're not in the US or you don't know, Lord and Taylor was a very renowned high-end department store on 5th Avenue. And then they had Lord and Taylor's in all of the malls, basically. They went under. They no longer exist. And they went under within the last decade, maybe. Not sure about that. But this was a tray that they had, and it was a series of trays that they had made in Italy specifically for them. And I think they were probably gifts around the holiday season. It says A4 126, Lord and Taylor, hand painted Italy. And it's a vanity tray or a serving tray if you want. So you put it on a vanity and you can put your makeup, a little bit of jewelry, you know, brushes, your hairbrush, clips, whatever, or you use it to serve food. You can do olives here, you can do charcuterie, whatever you want. But the beauty of it is that it's entirely hand painted. Let me make sure I'm in focus. It's entirely hand painted in Italy in the 70s. It's in really good condition. There's no scratches on the tray itself. And I've seen it in two other colors. I've seen it in all orange and yellows, and I've seen it in all greens type colors. This is the blue and yellow. So there's only some little chips right here at the corner, which you can barely see. You can really barely see it on the underside of the corner. But this is really cool. And I think something like that is still very current. If you go to TJ Maxx or if you go to Home Goods, you're going to see a lot of Portugal and Italy hand painted type platters. So they still make those. But these were specifically made for Lord & Taylor, and they were made in the 70s. I'm very surprised that this one has barely any damage. The drawing, the painting is intact. It's really pretty. Look at this. I think it's beautiful. So if you like blue and white, if you like Tuscan decor, again, another one that you can put as a centerpiece on your kitchen island, and you just use it to corral things, you know, organizing tray, or you use it for food. But it's just stunning. I just love that little lattice work right here. It's very delicate and it's well done. Very well done. Lord & Taylor, 1970s. I don't know if they did more than 3 colors. Again, I only saw it in maroon, orange type colors and green. But I can tell you that nobody else has it in blue right now. I haven't seen it. Okay, when I come back, we're going to stick to blue, and I have yet again another antique piece to showcase for you. Let's go to England. Back in the days, I'm talking about 18th century, 19th century, chinoiserie was big. There was a lot of import of Asian, oriental looking porcelain. And you know that. Ginger jars, big vessels, big plates. It was a thing in the 18th and 19th century. But it was expensive. Not everybody could afford that type of porcelain or ceramic. And again, late Victorian times, there was a rise of the middle class. The middle class started buying a lot of things that made them feel as though they made it financially. So there was a big demand for porcelain, not necessarily look-alike, but high-quality porcelain with a specific style that was making them feel as though they were part of a higher class in society. There was a lot of potters and a lot of porcelain makers in England, in particular the Staffordshire area. And apparently by accident, that's what the experts say, by accident they were making blue and white porcelain with cobalt oxide. That's how you get the blue of the porcelain. And I guess some guy must have thrown some other chemicals in the kiln, because when the porcelain came out, the blue was all hazy and looked like it was blurry and fading. And this is how, in the late Victorian era, around 1890, late 1880s, beginning of the 1890s, something called flow blue came about. Flow blue is highly recognizable. I give you examples right here. You know what I'm talking about. You look at it and you're thinking, that must be a misprint when they did the transfer wear. It was not. It became a style. Here's one of them. This is by H.W. Grindley. It's from 1890, 1896, just about that time. Totally antique, in absolute superb condition. Not a chip, not a crack, nothing. I believe this platter was on the wall for display. That's probably why it wasn't being used. But this is flow blue. How do I know it's flow blue? Well, other than the hazy of the blue, it says right here. FB Flow Blue by H.W. Grindley or Grindley. And this is the pattern they called Mary. It's kind of like a paisley pattern. And what I like about this one is that while it's flow blue, it's not completely blurred. The bleeding of the cobalt is not full like other pieces. So you can still see the pattern, but it's definitely flow blue. And even the stamp in the back has that little hazy blurred pattern or flow, right? And then some haze here in the blue. This is beautiful. It has a raised, oh, you can see it, a raised pattern right here. This is a 16-inch platter, indented platter. You put a chicken roast on it, you know, you serve a large piece on it, or sliced meat, or some asparagus, whatever. But this platter is absolutely amazing. It's 130 years old. Beautiful. There's some flaws, but the flaws happen during firing. They are not flaws from wear and tear. I give you, for instance, there's like a little piece of white here. You see it? All right, that's the glaze that you didn't pick on for whatever reason. Maybe there was like a little piece of stone or a piece of salt or something. So the blue is not full here. And then somewhere around here, right here, there's a little bubble, a little hole. This is a glaze bubble, normal happening in the firing process. Other than that, beautiful. There's areas where you see that there's no glaze on it. This is just the way they did it. The glaze is not fully around the piece. There's parts where there's more and others where there's less. But that's all during the firing process. And this is about as collectible as they get. People collect flow blue all over the world. And some people like the flow blue that is slightly hazy. Some people like the flow blue where it's like totally blurry and you can't see anything. They started doing Asian Oriental prints because that's what the upper class was getting. They were getting imports from Asia and they had all that chinoiserie stuff. So they started with Asian pagodas, kind of like the blue willow pattern, and then they moved to doing pieces like this. So pieces like this started late 1880s, 1890s. This one again is about 1890, 1896. H.W. Grindley, out of England, Staffordshire potter, flow blue platter, 16-inch. A collector's piece. It is stunning. If you like blue and white porcelain. Oh, now what you do with this? Obviously you can use it to serve food, right? But these platters are so hard to find and they are so beautiful. I guess I'm a trendsetter because you know I have plates on my walls and people stopped doing that for a while. Guess what's coming back? People using plates and platters and displaying them on their walls. Collector's plates like this. And they have special hooks. One on top like this, one on the bottom like this with a spring in the back and a little hook, and you just put it on the wall. That's what I would do with this one because it's just too beautiful. I want to keep it. Anyway, so that's number 6 and my last item, because unfortunately our friend Steuben here has a big chunk missing. You can barely see it. You can't see it at all, matter of fact, but I just don't want to sell it with a big chunk, and that's just too bad. So now I have 2. One from Scott's grandmother and one that I'm going to keep because I like this. But anyway, so these were the 6 items. And what would I keep? In all honesty, everything. I'm in serious trouble. I would keep everything. Not that I had to fight Mom, but Mom really wanted me to keep this. And I told her, Mom, I'm going to sell it because 1, I don't have the room to store it, and 2, I know it's going to make somebody happy. I know that some people really like this stuff, this carnival glass gold stuff, and it's just a one-of-a-kind piece, just a tidbit. You're going to see a lot of those pictures if you look into bullseye and daisy pattern, and you're going to see some with 2 rows. Those were the shorter one. They were about this size. This is the tall one that comes with 6 tumblers. So for design purposes, they did only 1 row of bullseye, and quite frankly, I think it's enough. It's enough. You don't need 2 rows. It's stunning. So I would have kept that if Mom had a way. And of course, the other Fenton and Cambridge, and that platter is just beautiful. All these items will be in the shop tomorrow at 5 p.m. That would be January 10th, 2025. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're looking forward to more items, and please find me on Instagram now under the and check me out on Instagram now at Frenchy and Tubby, where I'm going to put all of my vintage stuff and thrifting stuff and all of my passions under one roof, separated from my great challenge. So if that's the kind of stuff you like, find me there at Frenchy and Tubby. I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.